wax like silk.
Hey guys, I just thought it would be cool if I did a video of me. I was sitting here straightening my hair, and then I saw out my window, which is just Fenella get in her car and leave, and we worked together, and so I thought she was going without me, and I rang her up. I was like, "Oi, you left me, you left me." She was like, "I'm taking my car to the garage, it's Wednesday, we talked about it." And I completely forgot. Like, I swear it's something about my brain, but like in the mornings, my brain just forgets everything for it takes like time for me to wake up and for my brain to start actually doing what it's supposed to do. Today was one of those mornings apparently. So yesterday, so I work as a chaplain at the local high school, so I went in there yesterday, and it was really cool stuff happening in some of the local high schools at the moment, and there has been for a while. But I think, you know, the more time you spend in a place, I go there as a volunteer, but the more time you spend in a place, like, the more you really see the fruit of what you're doing, and it just really excites me. Like, I hate to just turn it all serious there for a second, but if you're kind of really passionate about making a difference somewhere, and you've been there for a little while and nothing's happening, I reckon you just hold on to your dream for a little bit longer and just wait it out a little bit longer, because longevity is one of the most valued things. You know, it's like, you can work hard for a really short period of time, but if you work hard for a really long time, you know, like tirelessly just working for a long time and really sticking it out and committing to a place, I think that's when you really start to see fruit. It's like, you know, I reckon God really honours it when we stick it out sometimes. There is a place where you need to leave sometimes, but when we stick it out, I reckon some really cool stuff doors can start to open, and that, you know, it's like people start to trust you and actually build a relationship with you, and I think that's really, really awesome. You want to be that person that's been in there a long time. You don't want to be the person that came in and treated it like a project, where you were in there for like a couple of weeks or a couple of months or even just a year, and you didn't really sow into the community that was there, which is really important. I think that's one of the things that's been really important with one of the community projects that one of my co-workers has been doing is, I was there when it was kind of pioneering and starting out for the first time. Like, we'd never done anything like this before, and the contract kind of, like, they were given a contract to run like a youth program in the community, and it had been done before, but it was done by an organisation that would basically just come in and run like a freaking, like, kind of like a babysitting service or whatever, but they would just eat pizza with young people, and they wouldn't build a relationship with them. They would just sit and eat pizza with them, and they would pay their staff like $200 for like a couple of hours work of just sitting and eating pizza with people. And it's like, anyone can do that, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like you need to be like a professional youth worker to be able to do that, or have been doing youth work for like a million years to be able to eat pizza. When we came in and started the new program, everyone thought it wouldn't last, because everything that they'd had before hadn't lasted or had been really kind of average. Like, it was like they had come in and treat it as a project and do it for like a short time, but then it would just like fizzle out and be lame, and someone else would come in and do like a lame job. So it actually took like a good amount of time. Like, they've been in there for nearly 3 years now, and it's like, it's kind of like only in the last like year and a half, like after you got in for a year and a half, maybe 2 years, then it's like people started to open up in the community and things like that. Like it took that long for things to really gain momentum. And it felt like we were gaining momentum at the beginning because it was new, but like bigger picture, we really weren't, like, compared to now and where things are at and where things are heading. Like, we'd not even, like, scratched the surface of the potential in that area, and now it's a really exciting area. Like, I think it's nowhere near where like the dream for it to be is, or anything like that, you know what I mean? And I guess it never is, but I think it's so exciting to be a part of that community. Little insight into the history of one of the projects we do. I think it's so important to stick stuff out, go really honours longevity. And one of my co-workers, he's been in his role for about 13 years, and it's like, man, that is a legacy that is left, you know, like that is a long time to be serving in one community and to really be building in, and it's so awesome. Like, I think that's really powerful. Yeah. So I was in the school, and how I got into the school was like an overflow of what was already happening in the community. Like, the door wouldn't have opened for me to go in there unless we were already doing stuff in the community and serving in the community. And it's kind of like, that's the way you want it to happen. Like, you want relationship with people and all of that stuff to happen naturally. You don't want it to be like, we came in and we said we would fix your thing. It was like, you want social change and social innovation to flow naturally. Like, sometimes it works if like an organisation will come in and be like, we're here to fix everything. This is what's wrong with your community or your school or your church. We're here to fix everything. But the best way to go about it is like that you build the relationship, and then you get the right to actually say stuff like that. You don't just say it. I haven't like waxed my eyebrows in like such a long time. Like, if you looked at them close up, it would just be like, it's actually so bad. There's already a guidance counsellor and things like that in the school, and most schools there is. But basically your role is to go in and support what's already there and to build into that. So they've already got a guidance counsellor, so I report to him, and basically I go in and I meet with girls, and we'll just often I get like a girl referred to me where a teacher or a dean or something like that has noticed that they have something going on in their life, or the student has told them, or whatever, and so I'll go in and they'll refer to me, and then I'll make an appointment with them, and they come and see me. And then what I really offer in my role is like a safe space, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know who their friends are, so I'm not going to go and tell all their friends that they said this about them or whatever. That's pretty cool, to be like a confidential kind of voice in amongst their life. Someone who will kind of listen and who is on their side. Like, something, like, I had to do training obviously to be able to do this, but when I was doing the training, they said when you meet with young people, you might not just meet with the kid who's getting bullied, like, you'll meet with the bully who did it, and regardless of who you meet with, your role is to support that person. And I reckon that's actually such a privileged position to be in, because like, they're not telling anyone else about what's going on most of the time, what's really going on for them, and so you're able to be like a support for what they're going through, and it's actually, I'm actually so passionate about it. Like, I think it's really, really special. And when I first started, like, it was awful. Like, it was like, no one knew who I was, and no one wanted to connect with me, like students or staff in the school. Like, I was a nobody, a purpose or a role, it almost felt like, and it's like I was just kind of making it up as I went along. When, you know, like, where it's at now is it's in a way more kind of exciting and dynamic place, where it's like I go into the school And sometimes there'll be people who will know I'm going in and will be waiting outside my office to see me. And that's not like, I mean, like pumping up my ability, because that's not it. It's like they just want someone who will listen to them, who's not their parents and who's not their friends or their teacher. And it's just like, young people just want to be heard. When I was first going in, like now sometimes most of the time I'll go in and there'll be someone waiting to see me, like outside the office that I use, which is like a little cupboard. Now it's like, yeah, it's like that. But when I first started, it was like I would, during like the kids' lunchtime, like the students' lunchtime, I would walk around the school and just meet people, like young people. I kind of wish I could still do this, but I kind of can't now. But I would just walk around and I would just connect with people. And it was actually that was actually how I started it out. Like that's how I started to build relationship and to get noticed and have my face around the school and things like that. And it's just like, it took so long. Like it took at least 6 months, probably a little bit more than that, to really get things rolling, like to really get my role like noticed and recognised. And like it shouldn't take that long, but it does. Fenel's back now, so I'm going to go to work.